2 months ago.
What do you got for us, Rob?
I come before you, pay increase for Nicole Petty. She's been here a year now, and she's really got a good job. And she's able to learn to take extra shifts, and she's really good. And going for the night shift, and that's hard to find, so. I was recommended for a pay increase from 4.1 to 4.2. Some differences, probably since then.
Works well with others.
Finding a person who likes nights, she's actually one who likes to work nights.
She probably
That
doesn't
was
think
the
the
government
was
was
a
a
good
It's
decision.
a hard, it's a hard thing to find a fit for people who
Karen.
like nights. If she's single,
She used to work out the short steps.
She still does.
she still does stuff every now and then.
I would move Nicole Petty from range 4, step 1 to range 4, step 2. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I just take it in there. Make it happy so much.
I just need this. That's really basically it. Since Mike's not here, I'm just gonna talk about the rest of it, so.
Oh, you want to wait till is he coming?
I-
He has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike is coming.
I
today.
don't know, but I doubt. I'll be
Ken
here
told me
if
he's
I want.
not,
It'll
so
take
I'm
my wife
assuming
to
he
stop
is.
her and her diabetes appointments and stuff, so.
What do you have to do?
Probably in the next 10 minutes. I just remember, one of the first things when I just go into this cover that I thought, hopefully that he might be here early, but.
No, can it wait till next week or not?
Yeah, I can wait till next week.
Okay.
We'll be on news by next week, so.
I'll probably hear more than the shortstop first.
Yeah.
Probably. All right.
Wait, well, in here in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'll wait around for just a little bit.
Gonna do the minutes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of October the 2nd.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Have a tax reduction.
I have one, tax roll correction.
Always the one.
Ooh, it's a big one.
Yeah. This time of year.
Plus or minus?
A minus. $2,000.
Oh.
Make a motion, we accept the tax roll correction.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept tax roll correction. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Initial or sign?
Rain last night.
Oh, what this is the special assessments off the tax.
Oh, the tax rate.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is just abating it off so we can get it off the system.
You want to do Marshall now, since he's here?
If he's here, that'd be great.
Yep.
You got time?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, we have plenty of time.
Then we'll squeeze you in.
We're gonna have to wait till 10 o'clock.
Sorry.
Tell me my last cut for you.
I
Corn
might-
cutting season.
Yeah, I might leave, but.
I told him
So on the truck that's broke down, we have not found the motor for it. Jerry's got it tore apart right now. We do have a sleeve, possibly a head. He's actually gonna go ahead and pull the rest of the heads off and check all of them. He's gonna be getting the price, but he thought maybe somewhere around $1,000 to buy a kit to rebuild it. So that's the route we're looking at going.
You mean for complete overhaul or just that one?
Just a complete overhaul is the way I understood it for the whole kit.
You'll send the head off and have the head done.
He's actually got some heads that are good that come off of another motor. So he said we don't have to really worry about locating one of them.
Did it just score that sleeve or what?
Yeah. Yeah, head gasket went out and scored the sleeve and got hot.
Put a little water into it.
So, like I said, he's in the process of getting it all tore apart and finding out what all we need, but I just told him, so that's how we keep finding motor, let's just start like we're gonna fix it, repair it. Last time we had this done to a motor at another place, they only done 2 cylinders, and then 2 weeks later, we had the same thing happen. So I told him, I said, let's just pull all the heads, look them all over, and I said, if we need to do all the cylinders, we'll do them all on the day. Sleeves and pistons, and bottom end looks good, so no issues there. And then, what was it, 2 weeks ago, when we met with Quebec?
Yeah.
Me and Tom and Pat sat down with the 3 guys from Quebec and just kind of explained everything. They were aware of the situation, they knew it was coming. Had a good conversation. So, I mean, they know where we stand on it. So there's no surprise, but no shock when we don't come running.
Yeah. How many guys work over there? You know?
Right now, I think it's just the 3 of them.
They may have a couple others, but no more than
A lot of
5.
floaters.
But I mean, there's nobody over there that is the main decision maker. The head of Career is actually somebody out of state, right?
They have a,
They have a local name.
Yeah, the refuge, they have.
But I don't think it's the refuge manager that's pushing the water issue.
No.
This is an out-of-state guy.
Those guys are just helpers.
Mike Odom was the refuge manager.
Where's he live at?
He lives in Hutch. No one lives on the refuge anymore.
Oh, you mean the manager out here? Yeah. But who's in charge?
Some lady in Denver,
I thought she'd already retired.
maybe so.
I know she was the one that did the first part of that.
But it's the Denver office that oversees this region.
They do
Last
actually
person.
have a guy living at the refuge, he's one of the workers.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out all that handle time for myself.
But I mean, as far as the managers go,
As far
there's
as the
housing
manager,
out
no.
there. Hilly was the last one who
Yeah.
lived out on the refuge. And Jones did for a little bit, but he said it was too noisy.
Yeah.
They can't express themselves.
And I don't know if no one's up there at the bunkhouse.
Not in spring, summer, there people are, it just depends, I mean,
Don't they do seasonal help?
they
Yeah,
do,
they have interns.
but they're all kind of cross-trained as firefighters, so if they're going on a big major incident, then they don't want it, so.
There he is.
the old
Well,
command unit, you guys would one time send me, go ahead and get rid of it. You guys are still okay with that? Yeah. I'll get the film, we'll try to get that one, or whatever. Go ahead and get that out of here, so we don't have to work around that.
Thank you.
Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Thank you. You want,
Doing the
Your time.
executive session now?
Yeah, for just a few minutes. How long would you think, Mike?
5.
5 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Man, my part, I'm just gonna take 2 minutes just to tell what
Yeah,
the status is.
I mean, that was it. Not even 5 minutes, really.
You can always go out early.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for attorney-client privilege for 5 minutes.
Second. With a motion and a second for executive session for 5 minutes. All in favor? Motion passes. What do you got for us, dude, Misty?
Well, I would like to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
What are you discussing right now? The
Well,
job
I don't know.
description?
No, whether or not we can go ahead and hire. No, I mean, not hire somebody, but to advertise for the position.
Is it personal?
Unless you want to
You're
talk
not
about.
talking about a
There's some-
specific person?
A
Yeah.
non-elected person.
Is it an employee now?
Which, I mean, I could talk about it openly, but I don't know. I guess all I really need to discuss with you guys is if we can go ahead and advertise for an EMT position. I do have, I can put it out on listserv, and that kind of issue. We were talking about before I left, that when I came back, we might be able to advertise and see who we can pull in and then do some interviews if we get some candidates, and then go from there with the hiring process.
So the person we had hopes for is just having a hard time getting certified?
Well, not testing again until the 15th of this month.
Okay.
So,
So if they got qualified, then we wouldn't worry about accepting applications?
that is up to you guys. I think that we need to advertise to see what we can bring in, and if that person does pass, they could be in the running for the position. But if we find
Yeah.
somebody who has got experience or anything
Is more qualified.
right, then we could, have options at that point.
I'm good with. Yeah, run that.
I think.
What sites do you guys, do you advertise on?
I've got a
Computer?
listserv site that is for EMS only. It goes to all EMTs once they get certifications. We do have that. We've got the county website that we could advertise on as well.
Just email it to me, or email it to Ashley, she'll put it on.
Okay.
But that one's website, I mean, that'll go out of the county?
Yeah, it goes to any EMS personnel in the state of Kansas. So it's through the Board of EMS. So we have that option.
That sounds, we need to have a vote on that, or just
No, it's just
consensus, sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll get something to Anita and we'll get that advertised, and then I'll come back to you guys with any applications that we might consider. Okay?
And you're looking for what level?
An EMT.
EMT?
Or above. Now,
A,
EMT
B,
is the
C.
basic,
Yeah.
EMT. And then if we have an A, apply, we could always look at hiring an A. We just have to look at the pay scale. Will be different, of course.
Right.
For an A than an
Full-time position.
Yes, a full-time position that will fit in Stafford during the day, and then they'll need to be in St. John at night, so they would really need to reside in St. John. So it's a unique position, so we'll have to look at scheduling and how to actually fit that out there. And like I said, I'll give it to you before we even shoot it out to listen to make sure it looks like it's an enticing package, so to speak.
Sounds good.
Okay, anything else for me? No?
Did you freeze up in the mountains?
I'm back in full force. The minute I got back, it was bam, bam, bam. With 3 calls,
Looks like
like,
you saw some pretty.
hey, glad you're back.
You saw some unique houses and stuff.
I did, yeah, the Stanley Hotel,
Oh,
and
yeah, where's
Where did
that
you
at?
guys go?
that's in Fort Collins, Colorado. Yeah, Fort
Really?
Collins,
That's
yeah,
right.
is where we were at. So we were
I've
like
never seen that.
9
Well,
miles
that
up the
was-
mountain, winding roads.
I've never seen that there.
Or the
So did
Stanley
you tube
Steamer
down the Pooter?
inventor?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Well, we didn't too. We actually were fishing, and we didn't have a whole lot of luck catching anything at that point. But
Too
the fact
cold?
that we were loose, yeah, we got to relax in the cabin and kind of see what we could see during the day and come back. So it was nice. It was real nice. But when I got home, it was hello, bam! I was in the office 5 minutes and got called over. So, well, like I said, it was welcoming me back. So.
Yeah.
I was ready to come back, so. All right, you guys need anything else, let me know. Okay, thank you.
What is DG's retirement date?
May 31st.
Explain this. Do you know the average use?
That's what you have to fund.
I know, can't be,
That's on the golf course, so that.
I know, did you do that exactly the same for 3 years in a row? But you just reported that.
I don't know.
You should
I
have
don't
changed
think
it
so.
every year.
I have to go.
That doesn't
Yes,
make
yes.
So that all comes out? So what's their, what did they get back? How do you figure this 25%? What? Okay. I've got one like that,
Pardon?
my recreation.
We'll go into recess. So the
Start out with the big one. We did get our December 31st, 2018 audited financial statements back, so that's what this is. And I'll just kind of point out maybe about 4 pages back. That's our independent audit report. And you'll see on the top of page 2 of it, first paragraph, that we did have a clean opinion. So these financial statements are presented fairly for 18 and 17. The other thing I was trying to point out, if you move to the next page, this is our balance sheet. So you'll see that our total current assets for 2018 came in at $2,446,000. Last year in 17, we were at $1,864,000. And you'll see that, like, on the first 2 lines are cash and cash equivalents and a short-term certificate of deposits. So that adds up to about $1,670,000. And in 17, we are at $343,000. So compared from 17 to 18, we had about $1.3 million higher in cash as we kind of pivoted from year to year. So those were just kind of some of the goals that we had set in 18, was just to keep more cash on hand, days cash on hand, make the hospital a little bit more secure. And our total current assets were, we were in a better situation on current assets by about $582,000, even with the Medicare receivables. So in 2017, on the cost report, we got about 900, we had a receivable of $923,000. And we had about $14,000, $14,000 payable. So even with that situation, we still were better total current assets. Our capital assets down a little bit. You'll see we came in at $674,000. So about $101,000 more in net capital assets. So we have the cash, plus we continue to invest. From 17 to 18, we have invested a lot in some of our capital assets, new equipment and that type of stuff, which is kind of reinvesting in the hospital. At the very bottom, you'll see our total assets and our deferred outflows of resources came in at $3,138,000. On the next page, you'll see that on the top of it, that our total current liabilities came in at $6,143,000. Our long-term debt's at $568,000. And we had some total other post-employment benefit liabilities of $2,000.
What is our long-term debt? Is that what, for like when we're releasing?
Yeah, so those would be a lot of our, like notes payable, but mostly it's capital leases.
Okay.
So we'll buy some of the equipment and we, with the bank, we'll basically borrow that money.
So why is the, on the net pension liability, why is it 0 now?
So you kind of see, it looks like that really, we had in 2017, they had a net pension liability of the $1,364,000. And then you can see then on like the deferred inflows of resources pension, now like it almost is carrying down to that category versus the net pension liability category. And so that we outsource those entries, and that actuarial report gets outsourced to BKD. And so that's all the paper stuff and the pension stuff. And so that's just the way, I guess, the actuarial report came back, but now we've done. And starting on, I think it was page 18, I was kind of reading some more kind of about that, but there's paragraphs and paragraphs of basically in pages that kind of talks about the CAPER stuff. On note 8, which is page 16, kind of explains a lot about those different categories and what they represent. And so the net pension liability, so it just says that it was determined by an actual evaluation and that it's based on a ratio of the hospital's actual contributions to the total employer and non-employer actual contributions of the group. So when the actuarial report came back in, basically it's now shifting from net pension liability down into a deferred inflows of resources of pension. And And when they defined WEPKey, deferred inflows of resources, it is defined on page 10. So it says the hospital reports the acquisition of net pension that is attributed to a future period of deferred inflows. So basically, what we're gonna, like net pension is like your net income, so it's kind of like the deferred of what we're gonna have to use of our net income based on that plan with that. So it's almost shifting from a liability down to a pension, but my knowledge, just to be honest, is not any further than what's in how that all works and how they determine that. It's not any further than that. But we could get more than somebody from here if you want that to explain it a little bit further. I don't want to tell you guys something wrong, so.
Just moved.
Yeah, so, because I was reading, I was like, what is that shifting now? Like, when he presented he didn't, did he really explain that?
Not a whole lot.
He's just basically saying that we've been
Different categories.
different, it didn't disappear.
Just kind of the why, and
Isn't it part of the regulations of how they Gatsby?
so I know that we adopted
how
GASB
they
7,
had-
yeah, we adopted GASB 75, which is what made us, and that's what he said, is that with that they moved them into different buckets. Yeah, that's kind of what he said, but
We didn't go over the deep one.
he didn't know. It was-
Just for us.
Anyways, so our total liabilities at 18, for 2018 was at $6,713,000, and 17 we're at $5,628,000. On the next page, you'll see the total operating revenue came in at $6,330,000, and 17 we're at $5,341,000. So we did about $989,000 better in our total operating revenue from 17. And then we actually had enough in the total operating revenues to cover the increase in total expenses, which it was at, for 18 at $8,369,000, for 17 we're at $7,628,000, which is about a $741,000 increase, bringing our operating loss to $2,039,000, which is about $248,000 better than where we were in 17. Our total non-operating revenue, pretty consistent with where we were in 17, bringing our decrease in net position, which is really like your net income, to $1,574,000, which is about $249,000 than where we were in 17. And you can see where we adopted the GASB 79 and that change in accounting principle, GASB 75. And that's why 17 says as adjusted, because they adjusted them by about $14,000 for that change. And the rest, the next is like your statement of cash flows, kind of saying where the money came in and out. And then on page 7 is where our notes to the financial statements start. And nothing really to point out. Except on page 11, that kind of talks a little bit more about the new accounting principle that went into effect. And then you can see again that the impact on our net income was about $14,000. Nothing really else to it. You can see on 15, on page 15, that's our long-term debt. So that kind of breaks out our long-term debt. So you can see how much is notes payable, and then how much is the capital lease. So you'll see the majority of it. At 18, we ended, our capital lease was at $561,000 of it, and then the notes payable was $100,000. And of course, in page 16, starting year 8, tells all about the pension formula, and it goes all the way to the year. All the way to page 25. all that, so any other questions on the financial statements? And then I'll move to the colorful one. These are kind of our stats. I think in the past I've shown you kind of, the back sheet is 18, so you can see through the whole year and each month what our stats were. And then on 19, I went ahead and kind of did our stats from January to August. And then in the next column that's in blue, that's kind of for the month date from 2018, so you can kind of compare where we were in August of 2019 to where we were in August of 18. And then in the red is year to date for 2018, so we can kind of compare on one page, kind of how we are from 2018 to 2019. So you'll see, and I also added in the far left-hand column line numbers, so it'll just be easier to follow. But you'll see on line 6 that our acute census days for August, we had 5. We didn't have any in August in 2018. And then year to date, we're at 81 for 2019. And then in 2018, we're at 84. So we're about 4% down year to date in 19 where we were in 18. On line 9, our skilled swing census days, for the month of August, we're at 33. And year to date, we're at 653. So we're about 51% down from where we were in 18, and about 12% down from where we were in 2019 year to date. Intermediate swing census days, we had 62 in August, and year to date, we're at 392. So down about 33% for the month, and about down just a little bit, about 3% for the year. Physical therapy treatments and evaluations on line 13. We had 336 for the month of August. Year to date, we're at 2,714. So we're up about 1% for the month, and that down about 5% year to date. Occupational therapy treatments, we had 15 for August, 231 year to date. So down about 42 for the month, and about 12% down for the year. Speech therapy, we didn't have any in August, but 50 year to date. We had in August 2018, we had 3, and then year to date, we had 16 for 2018, so we're down about 24% year to date there. Respiratory therapy treatments, we had 71 in August, which is a 115% increase, and then we're at 731 treatments for 19, which is about 23% up from where we were in 18. Total radiology, 152 in August, 998 year to date for 19, which is about a 60% increase for the month and about 5% year to date increase. Lab testing, our total testing, we had, we're up about 1% for the month and down about 3% for the year. Our emergency patients, we're up about 20% for the month and down about 11% year to date. And then our home health visits, we're up 46% for the month and up 47% year to date. So like a lot of our stats are down from where we were in 18. But you'll see when I move over to the financials that even though our stats have been down, our acuity level and the patients that we've been seeing have actually been up, and some of our pharmacy charges are up. So our revenue actually is up year to date, even though our stats have been down. Any questions on that?
Swing health, getting where we can do that more again.
Well, I mean, we're not at a place where we can't do more home health, it's just what the market is right now. So we're not turning away home health patients. I think what we talked about before was the home health was loaded with too many patients that probably didn't qualify. And so now that the patients that are on service are more appropriate for home health services. So that being said, we're having discussions with the board on how to navigate the fact that it's very difficult for a small home health to exist anymore. We're, and especially a hospital-owned home health, especially a device of hospital-owned home health, because we get hit on the cost of corporation having it. And with the low volumes and needing to keep up with regulations, there's a lot of overhead there. So we're consistently losing money year over year on home health, but it's a community service. And so we're evaluating that financially and trying to figure out how do we mitigate some of the losses of home health and still continue to provide that service. We've actually reached out to a couple companies to look at their interest in, there's some interest in coming into this market, but there's just not a lot of patients here, and the overhead to start up and all that is a concern for all companies too. The advantage of another company is if you have a big company, they come in with an electronic health record system, they have a whole team that's already established, all that fixed expense is already there to make sure they stay compliant. We're still using paper, so we're looking at how much it costs to upgrade. So look at a lot of things, but home health it's difficult.
Okay. So I'll move on to the next one, which the first page is a balance sheet for August 31st, 2019. And you'll see our total current assets came in at $2,510,000. In August of 2018, we were at $3,154,000. So we're down about $644,000 in current assets. Most of that's in our net receivables that decreased to $445,000. And when I looked into kind of what that was, is that with the census on our skilled swing bed, we are down 51% there. And that's the one that has the highest contractual adjustments that then shows up and that allows for third-party contractuals. And to go further into that, like our Medicare skilled swing bed AR from August 2018 to August 2019 was down about $106,000. And once you apply the contractual adjustment on that, that makes up about $472,000. So that still has a huge impact on our receivables on the financial statements. On the prepaids was another large variance, which was down $190,000. Most of that is, if you'll look down on line, there's a new line on there. It's called other assets, and then this is DOOR pension. And that's kind of the deferred outflows of resources due to the pension. And so for the amount that was in 2018, it was $201,000, and it was sitting up and being classified and rolling up into that prepaid expense line. But then in 2019, we moved that down into its own line. And so really, that balance in August of 2018 should be about $29,000. And then in August of 19, it was $39,000. So really, there was about $11,000 change in that category. And then down on that, other assets, that would be $17,000 for 2019, and $201,000 for 18. So that's about $183,000 cut there. So that's kind of why you see that huge variance. On total property and equipment, and for 2019, we're at $1,859,000, and in 18, we're at $1,583,000. It's about $275,000 higher. So from August of 18 to August of 19, we have invested a lot into some of our equipment. And so we have purchased a radiology digital reader, a generator, a tank gauge, a new washing machine, an ice machine, a telemetry machine, a copy machine, a hematology machine, and then a new boiler / chiller. So that's kind of what's making it that $25,000. Once you take into account the accumulated depreciation, our net property and equipment for 19 is at $809,000. For 18, we are at $654,000. Bringing our total assets for 19 to $3,337,000. Compared to 18, we're at $3,809,000. Any questions on that? So the next page is kind of the liabilities section. You'll see our total liabilities for 19, we're at $6,700,000. Last year, we're at $5,342,000, so about a $1,358,000 increase. And the majority of that's in that first line, which is accounts payable, and it's up by the $1,311,000. When we break out the balance at August 31st, 2019 for accounts payable, the $6,425,000, $6,274,000 of that is what's due to CPC Stafford, and then $151,000 of that is our non-CPC Stafford. Our total long-term liabilities is at $1,738,000. Last year we were at $2,035,000, so we have about $296,000 decrease there. And most of that is with the new actuarial report that came and how those financials played out. The DIOR, which is the deferred inflows of resources pension, and then the long-term net pension liabilities. When you net those two together, that's down $392,000. So that's what's driving most of that. Our long-term portion of capital leases is up $88,000, but the two of the fixed assets that I had mentioned, the generator and the printer machine, those were capital leases, so that's why we're seeing an increase there. If you add up the total current liabilities and the total long-term liabilities, our total liabilities for 19 is at $8,439,000, and we are at $7,337,000 last year. So the next page, the left-hand side of the page just kind of shows you for the month of August, kind of where we were. And then the right-hand side of the page shows you year-to-date. So I'll go over the right side, which is the year-to-date. Our total patient service revenue year-to-date for 19 is at $2,934,000. For 18, we are at $2,457,000, which is the second to last column. Our total patient revenue is up about $477,000. Most of that is in the outpatient. And our respiratory therapy was up 23% based on the stats, and then our radiology was up 5%. So that's playing a little bit into that, but also the over acuity level is up for 19. And we did have some pharmacy charges, increase on the charges there, that's playing a little bit of that too. Our total deductions is at $1,693,000. Last year we had $2,344,000, so that's down about $650,000. The majority of that is the second line down in that section, Medicare contractual adjustment, and it's down. It's down by about 300,000 about, and most of that is due to the skill swing that census days being down about 12% of our year-to-year based on the stats. And then in addition, our contractual adjustment that we put on the Medicare swing beds, it was for inpatient, we were at in 18 at 143% of charges, and then in 19 we're at 106%. And then on Medicare skilled swing bed, we were at 392% of charges, and now we're at 216%. So those are the two things that are kind of playing in that decrease. Our net patient service revenue, which is the last line, is at $4,628,000 for 19 compared to $4,801,000 for 19. On the next page, the first three lines are our other operating revenue. And if you add those first three lines up for 19, that comes up to $375,000. And then last year we were at $347,000, so about $28,000 increase there. And most of that is that we were able to, with the extra cash, invest in some CDs in the end of 18 and then 2019 so far. so we were able to receive some interest income on that. And then also, we started a contract with the Heart of Kansas, the Lee Clinic, and we get some revenue off of that, and so that's kind of the other operating revenue and growing revenues. Our total operating expenses for 19 is at $5,449,000, and last year we're at $5,652,000, so about $204,000 decrease in expenses, which is about 3%. Most of that's due to our PA was a contractor and received some staff through, but in March 2019, we moved it over to the hospital. So we're seeing some cost savings there. Our non-operating income is at $8,000. And last year we were at $5,000. So bringing our year-to-date net loss to $438,000. And last year, we had this point, we were at $498,000 net loss. So we're doing about $61,000 better than last year. And then if we added up those categories, supplies, rent expense, telephone, maintenance, and minor equipment, but I know you guys like to monitor, those add up to $540,000. So we'll surpass that. Any questions on that? And then I did give you a couple copies of the agenda. So we're staying pretty consistent and pretty current with all of our vendors that are non-CDC staffers. There was a few that were in the 31 to 16 category, but I think the amount after that took out. The total AP was about 19,000 that was non-CDC staffers. But we're pretty much now up to those. Majority of that was just a payment that worked out. Break up that into units.
We have two different payments that we've spaced out into 3 months, so it falls
Yeah,
over
yeah,
to
well,
that.
it falls over, but it really wasn't.
Under an agreement that was really delinquent.
Yeah, that made up like 14,000 of the
Kind of some of the quick summaries I have. What I think I'm most happy in seeing, aside from patients utilizing the facility, our staff is growing. So we're spending more money locally. We're using the banks here instead of outside loans, loan companies, which is the standard. Most hospitals we use some equipment loan company outside the community. So we try to bring some of that back in. Reinvesting in the facility, so a lot of money was put building that facility, and normally in critical access hospital, what you see is that it depreciates every year. And what we're seeing is we're appreciating the facility, so we're keeping up with the facility, keeping up with the equipment. So I like that. A big relief is the days cash on hand. When Barb, I was trying to look for it, I guess it was on a separate.
Yeah, so we
should have brought that
I know, I
paper.
looked at it last night, I was gonna bring it, but.
Why don't you send that to them? There was a comparison, they broke down a comparison of, BKD sees about, I think it was 16 critical access hospitals, 12 to 16 in this region. And so they kind of compared our hospital with those other hospitals. And there were some areas we were doing better, and some areas we were doing worse in. We blew the other hospitals out of the water in days cash on hand. So from a stability standpoint, to weather a storm like as you can see, we had a bad second quarter with skilled care patients. If we didn't have cash on hand, that could have been very difficult for us. But having that cash on hand provides a lot of stability for the hospital. Because if you have a drop in patient census, you have a drop in cash now that will eventually get paid back some of that on the cost report, but if you can't wait to the cost report, then you're in trouble, and that's where the days cash on hand comes in. So that's a big difference from when we came
I
on
think we
there.
had, if my memory was like 78 days, 2018, and then the industry standard was 60%.
Well, if it was that high, even, I thought, okay, yeah,
It was either
but
62 or 65.
we'll find that when we get to
So,
it.
do you, is there a reason why you guys were down there in the second quarter as far as on your spend
Yes,
beds?
from the best I can tell, it was just the state of Kansas. We checked with a lot of hospitals. Our other hospital went a month without any patients at all. This hospital went a period of time without any patients at all. And the word was, we checked with some physicians we work with that cover about 8 to 10 hospitals in the state, and they said all of them were down as well. So I think it was just kind of more of a regional issue. One thing on my list to talk about, speaking about skilled patients, I'm worried about skilled. There's two things that are happening in the skilled market. One is, starting this month, the government, I don't fully understand it because it doesn't affect our critical access hospitals, but the government changed the reimbursement structure for other skilled programs, non-critical access hospital skilled programs, to their benefit. So patients now get, or facilities that are not critical access get more money towards skilled patients. It's not as much as we get by any means. It's still much better for us to have skilled patients than it is for them to. But instead of having 250, 350 a day, and a lot of patients are excluded or they lose money on now, a lot of patients at non-critical access hospital facilities would have previously turned away, they can now be profitable with those. So that's going to be an issue going forward. I talked with a physician in Wichita who, prior to this rule change, they were trying to get patients out to either long-term care centers or critical access hospitals. And now they've opened up skilled care centers because this was coming down the pipe. And so all those physicians are going to, I think they own it themselves, they're going to be self-referring into there. So it's going to be hard to get those patients out. Pratt's building one right now. It's actually going to shut down the Pratt hospital-owned nursing facility, and it's a commercial, non-Pratt hospital affiliated, for-profit skilled facility that's opening up, and that's going to be a big competitor to us. In fact, it was to a degree to Pratt as well, because they're shutting theirs down. So they've already said that they can't compete. So it's like opening up a big gas station next to another one. So that's going to be an issue. So we've got to figure out how to address that. I feel that one of the best ways to address it, because we don't have any physicians that feed into our hospital. And so if the physicians in Pratt who are currently sometimes utilizing our skilled care, when this facility opens up, if they're tied in as medical directors and such, I see that they may not send any patients this way. So if that happens, really our only remedy is to build up our physician base in this community, in this county. And that's something we need to do anyway. So I think that's our remedy. The more people that feel comfortable seeking healthcare from a physician that was in the county, who also utilizes the facility, the healthcare facility in the county, the more independent we'll be.
There's that sheet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that BKV plans average 64.6 days of cash on hand, and we had 73.8.
And there's something these others too. The operating margins of ours, let's see, our hospital total margin, let's see, performance ratio, patient areas.
So our skilled bed patient days, they on average have 786, we have 1,006. So our skilled program is performing better than the majority of the clients that we've seen.
So we have more patients in it. Operating margins, other hospitals lost 17%, ours was losing 32%. So that's 20, no, that's less than 20%, so it's 18%. But when you do total margin, which includes county or city benefits, other hospitals performed with an operating margin closer to at zero. They were at -3%, whereas we were still 25%. So two things. One, we're losing more money on our financial statements than other hospitals. And we also get less money back. So some communities, like I know Hamilton's about $900,000 to $1 million a year that they put into the community, so that exacerbates that discrepancy. So then it's
So
20.
most of them are getting about 14%, about 14%. And
Of the
we have-
losses.
Yeah, the losses, where we are only getting about 7%.
7%.
So we're getting half.
And that's our commitment, is to take what we got and continue to shrink those margins down. But yeah, some things are worse than other hospitals, some things are better. Definitely our patient base, the fact that we're appreciating our facility and the days cash on hand is what we're most proud of. Let's see, skilled days. From a financial standpoint, my biggest concern is our losses growing at D, which is just on our company right now. We're caught up pretty good with numbers.
Did a good job.
So we're getting into the busy schedule of the year, the busiest part of the year now.
Yeah, especially for acute care, we're not going to have a lot of volume of acute care. I hope we do, but I mean, our acute care, I don't have the figures. We're probably a quarter patient, half patient average daily census on acutes. So, we average 1 to 2 patients a day in the ER. I think if we have great PR and we're being fully utilized by the whole county, we don't have that big of a county, so maybe we can double that. I doubt we could triple it. I doubt we could. We're not going to group. There's just not enough people to cover. So even if we double it, let's say 4 patients a day, then they'd be welcome. But I don't think the acute care volume alone is going to sustain the hospital. So it's going to help. So yes, it is a busier season. You start getting flu. We already have some flu positives in Oklahoma. I haven't got one yet on campus. The bigger thing, that I get most worried about is skilled. We do see some more skilled in winter. The ice, people fall, break things, and pneumonia. These people, older patients, tend to take longer to recover from pneumonia, so sometimes we need some skilled help for that. So, we see some. We hope people are healthy, but if they're not, we see
It's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
I do have a question for Todd. What did you guys end up doing with your old generator?
We sold it for $6,100 and upgraded the air conditioner, pharmacy, meeting.
Sounds good.
Appreciate that suggestion there. It's good. Good time.
And we're going to be going. Have you got a date yet, Pratt?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're working on setting a date with Pratt to talk about doing some more stuff together. I'd say most of our referrals come from Pratt, and since they had a change in their social workers, a couple of them left. We had a relationship with district planners. We haven't gotten a single patient referral since then. So we want to redevelop those relationships. We're going to talk with the hospital administrator about the new facility that's opening up, and also how we can engage some of the providers from Pratt that people here really like. There's some really good providers there. How do we engage them more in this community? They're pretty set over there. They're happy. But we have people that are from this community that go over there for healthcare, and they come back, for instance, to the nursing home with instructions that if they need to be admitted, they have to go back to Pratt. And so, we don't want to. We want patients to go where they want to go. We want doctors to feel that they send patients where they're comfortable with. How do we work that relationship? Maybe they come over here. There's got to be some way we can engage them more in the community. So we have from the physician here. That's what we're going to work on.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a fun short trip
You better wait till tomorrow to go home.
Right, you guys.
Take 3 hours to get back.
Yeah.
You guys, anything else?
I think that's pretty well it.
We'll adjourn.